What's going on, everybody? In this video, you're going to learn how you can start wholesaling houses virtually using none of your own money or credit. And here's the best part. You're going to learn how to do this without actually using any money for marketing as well. This is going to be a really good video for beginners. But the thing I want you to do is take notes. There's going to be a lot of information in this video. My goal is for you to be able to use this information and close your first deal within 30 to 60 days. Jump into the video. I want to welcome you to Land Ninja Academy. My name is Kenneth Dusang. This is your spot for everything virtual wholesaling. I've been in sales for over 10 years. I've been wholesaling houses virtually for over 10 years. I'm also a finance manager off and on for different dealerships. I love sales, so I love working at dealerships and selling warranties from time to time. I'm also the founder of Land Ninja Academy and Virtual Wholesaling Ninjas. I definitely have a passion for teaching. This is probably one of my biggest passions, is helping people learn how to wholesale houses. It's allowed us to travel all over the world. My wife is from Spain, so we're able to go out to Spain and we're still able to make an income no matter where we're at because we know how to wholesale houses virtually. So before we get into this, I'm going to assume that you probably don't know what wholesaling is. I want to take at least 25 seconds to explain to you what it is and kind of how it works. So if you've already closed deals, I would suggest watching this too, because there'll be a little bit of information that you might be able to use. But for the most part, just bear with me. I'm going to explain this as fast as I can. What we do as wholesalers is we go out and we try to find properties that need work. You can kind of see some of the properties here. Some of them might be fire damage, updates needed, maybe they were inherited. A lot of the times, though, we deal with tired landlords, people who have bought a property thinking that they wanted to be a landlord, but then realized later on down the road that, hey, I don't want to be a landlord. This is hard work. And now they need to sell that property quickly to get their money back out. We also deal with a lot of probates, people who have inherited property. A lot of people who inherit property don't know what to do with it. So they will be more than happy most of the time to accept an offer on the property that is discounted for the speed and convenience of selling that property. Again, another one is fire damage properties. There's a lot of different niches of properties you can go after. Really what we're looking for is just the ugliest house in the nicest neighborhood. So kind of you as a wholesaler, what your job is to go and search for these tired landlords, these people who have inherited properties, just people who are tired of owning the property and just want to get rid of it. Now, once you find these tired landlords or these property owners, you're going to make an offer to buy the property from them. So let's say one of our sellers, Sally, let's say Sally decides that, hey, you know what? I want to sell my property. You as an investor, you reached out to her and she decides, you know what, I'll sell it to you just because, you reached out to me and I'm ready to sell it. So you get a contract to buy that property from Sally for $25,000. Now, let's say an example. Let's say Sally signs the contract, and once that contract is signed between you and Sally, now you own rights to that property for the time period within that contract. So let's say you have a contract to buy that house and you have 60 days to close on it. Well, during that 60 days, you can actually sell that contract to a different person. So let's say an example, you got that contract and you found somebody that wanted to buy that property for $45,000. Now you get an agreement with them to buy that property from you for $45,000 through either a assignment, which we'll go over, or a double close. Now, remember, we have the contract at $25,000. So in this scenario, there is a $20,000 difference, surplus. That surplus goes to you as the investor as an assignment fee. Now, these deals are being done every single day, wherever you're at in your city. If you drive around, you should see something called We Buy Houses signs. Those are people doing exactly what is explained here. It is a very, very lucrative business. You can do this virtually. You don't need any money to actually flip houses. You do need money, however, to find the properties. But in this video, I'm going to teach you how to do this without any money for marketing. I've been doing this again for over 10 years. I've learned a lot of different ways to market and find properties. And I think this video is going to help people who need a little extra help with marketing and don't have money to actually spend, $1,000 or $2,000 a month on marketing. So how to wholesale houses without spending any money on marketing? There's a few tools you're going to need. Specifically, there's 7. First, you're going to need something called PropWire. That's how we find our deals. The second thing you're going to want is Zillow. Facebook Marketplace is the third thing. Google Sheets, Trello, TruePeopleSearch.com, and Google Voice. Literally, with these tools right here, you can build a 6-figure business virtually wholesaling land and houses. So to get started, what you're going to want to do is build your foundation. Building your foundation is extremely important because it's going to be how you're going to make your money in the future. If you don't have a strong foundation, your house is going to fall, obviously. So in business, it's the same thing. If you don't have a strong foundation in your business, you're not going to have success. You're going to fail. As simple as that. So your foundation is something called your buyer's list. Now, there's a lot of people out there that will tell you, don't build a buyer's list first, find your deals first. Do not suggest taking their advice. I have known dozens upon dozens of wholesalers that got into this business, tried it out for about a year, got burnt out because they couldn't close deals. And the root cause of them not closing deals was because they didn't have a strong foundation or a buyer's list first. How many buyers do you need before you even start looking for deals? Well, you're going to want at least 70. When you're building your buyer's list, make sure it's for a specific county. You don't want to target, let's say the whole state of Florida or the whole state of North Carolina. You want to target just a specific county. Now, whatever county it is, I recommend a larger county within that state. So an example, if you're in North Carolina, let's say we're looking at Charlotte, target the county that Charlotte's in. So Mecklenburg, North Carolina. I'm going to kind of go over with you how to build your buyer's list and use some tools to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Zillow here. I made a video a couple years ago on something called a Zillow hack. And it was a really good way to find buyers. It's still a really good way to find buyers, but it's a little different than what it used to be. So as you can see here, we're on Zillow. And since we've been talking about Mecklenburg, North Carolina, we're just going to go over there. By the way, Mecklenburg is a really good market to jump into. What you're going to do is you're going to filter this down to 4 rents, and you're going to only want houses. Now, the idea behind this is we're going to be looking for people who might have an interest in buying more off-market properties. So what we do is you're just going to go through these little listings here, and you're going to look for property owners and real estate agents. Property management companies are okay to cold call and ask if they want to buy, but usually they don't. I wouldn't waste my time with them. I would just strictly go after property owners and then real estate agents. Again, there's going to be a lot of property management companies. Just skip them. You can cold call them if you want, but usually it's a waste of time. So here's a property owner right here. Looks like it's a $2,000 a month. This is probably a landlord, and usually these people are wanting more properties, especially if you can find them at a discount and then sell it at a discount to them. They'd be more than happy to buy your contracts from you. You used to be able to text these people and get a response from them. Now Zillow has made it hard to do that. You have to actually cold call them. And when you're cold calling them, just simply tell them, hey, I saw you had a property on Zillow. I'm calling to see if you're interested in picking up more off-market properties. 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you yes, because they're investors. They know what the value is in buying off-market discounted properties. But here's another one. And as you're cold calling these people, what I would suggest doing, anybody that wants to sell, put them on a Google Sheet. So what I would do is name it whatever county you're in, Mecklenburg, and you're going to get their name, you want their phone number, their email, and I wouldn't put the county. I would just have a spot for notes here. And you're going to build this all the way down here till you have at least 70 buyers on your list. Now, 70 is important because it's the amount of buyers that I had to rebuild my list to when I failed at wholesaling in the beginning. And once I built my list to 70 buyers, that's when I started getting results. And that's when my business took off. So 70, is just a number, but it's a number that makes sense for me. Go on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. You're going to get a generic picture of a piece of land or house. And all you're going to simply do is post and say that you have a off-market property. You're asking, 40, 50,000 cash for it, needs a lot of work. Don't put an actual picture of a real property on the MLS or anything like that, just a generic picture. Now you're going to get a lot of people that reach out to you wanting to buy the property. Just simply let them know that this one's not available, but you get a lot of off-market properties all the time. If they want access to your properties, have them give you their name and their phone number. So that's another really good way. There are some other really amazing ways to build a buyer's list really quickly and get some really, really good buyers. That's discussed in my program. If you want part of my program, you can just text me and we'll get you signed up. But now that you have your buyer's list built, obviously you're going to want a title company as well in the market. The best way to find a title company is simply going to Facebook. You're going to look for groups. So if we're in Mecklenburg, North Carolina, look for groups that are real estate investing related in Mecklenburg. And in those groups, go to the search bar and search for people who have asked about title companies. And you'll find a ton of title companies that way that are investor friendly. Now, the next thing we're going to go over, now that you have your buyer's list built, you have a title company that is ready and excited to start closing your deals for you, you need to start finding your sellers. We're going to use something called PropWire. Don't get PropWire confused with PropStream. PropStream is $100 a month, but PropWire, I have tried PropWire out. I specifically tried it out for this video just to make sure that you can close deals with it. And we've closed a couple deals using PropWire, and the data is 100% free, which is really exciting. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go in and show you how to use PropWire. So PropWire, again, is a free data tool. The way that they make their money, though, is once you pull your list, they try to sell you on using their skip tracing. I'm going to show you how to skip trace for free. But using a skip tracing company will definitely save you time. But again, this video is all about doing this business with no money out of your pocket. So once you're inside of PropStream and you've created an account, this is kind of what it looks like. What you're going to do now is you're going to go to lead types. I like to do absentee owned, and I like to do probates, and I like to do high equity. The next thing that I like to do is go to single family homes, multifamily, and land. And the next thing, we're going to go to owner filters. We're going to choose out of state, and we're going to go to individual. Now you can do in-state or out of state. It really doesn't matter on this one. I personally like to filter it all the way down to out of state, though. It just adds more motivation to the seller. We're going to save and close. Once that's done, it'll pop up here, but you can see I've already saved this filter here. When you click this, these are all the properties. You can download them right here. And let me kind of show you how this would look in, let's say, Duval County, Florida. Well, I haven't saved a list yet with these filters, so you're going to see the filters right here. So I just want to go in here and kind of show you. This system's kind of actually pretty cool for being free. But you can kind of go through here and you can see the owners live in different states. There's the owner's name and their mailing address. They have comps. So there's a lot of good tools in here. Once you download it, this isn't the list we just did, but it's going to look just like this. What you're going to do is filter your list down just the owner's first name, their last name, the mailing address, and the property address. And that's all you're going to need. I would also keep the lot acreage. There's phone numbers here, but that's because we skip trace this. Your list won't have phone numbers if you don't skip trace it. So once you have a list like this of sellers, what you're going to do is start finding their phone numbers. This is where your lead generation skills are going to kick in. And we're going to use a system called True People Search. So an example, we're looking at Berlin, Franklin here. So what I would do is copy the mailing address and then see where it says the city. Just memorize the city, Seat Pleasant. If you memorize it, it just makes this a little easier. And you're going to just punch in Seat Pleasant. Pops up. And now remember her name was Berlin. So we're looking for Berlin. There she is right there. In my experience, usually the wireless phone number that is most current is usually the phone number that we're wanting to go after. Now, if they're an older person, I would recommend calling the landlines too, because a lot of older people still use landlines. So keep that in mind. But for the most part, this is how you skip trace for free. We've done a lot of deals by doing this, by hiring VAs just to do this specific method. But you can do this yourself and close deals. Knowing how to follow up with your sellers is crucial. Most of your deals will not come from the initial phone call with the seller. It's going to come from several phone calls. It might come, 30 to 60 days later. So it's important to have a way to follow up with these sellers. So here's a free tool to do this. So I want you to go and make a free account with Trello. Trello is a system we used for years as a follow-up tool. Once we kind of got big and started closing a lot of deals, we had to go to something a little more automated. But let's do this. I'm going to actually go to Trello real quick and show you exactly how to set Trello up so you can use it as a CRM. So when you first sign up with Trello, you're going to see none of these little blocks here. You might just see the ones on top here. What you're going to do is you're going to create a new Trello board for your county. So I got one created for Mecklenburg here. And once you're inside, you're going to create a list by clicking this little list here. And you're going to create one for new leads, need follow-up, sent to title, closed, and dead leads. Now, this is just a test. And I do it again. You just see test. You can kind of see how that is. Now, right here on the add card, that's where your leads are going to go. So on new leads, what I like to do is when I'm going through my cold calling session and I find somebody that wants to sell, I'll go ahead and I'll create the new lead right here. I'll go ahead in the description. I'll put all the information about the lead. You can kind of see it in, I think it's this one right here. Here's the owner name, the phone number, their email, the property address, and some information that you learned about them while you're speaking with them. And right here, let's say, you cold call them and, made an offer. Whatever happens, just leave it as a comment and it will show you what time that was done. Now, let's say you did get a new lead and you wanted to, let's say the lead said, hey, I'll sell to you, but I won't be able to sell within, the next 5 months. What I would do is I would put a follow-up right here. Follow up at least every couple of weeks or at least every 30 days and just put in the description exactly what happened and what was said. And, you can do whatever you want here. It's pretty cool. But let's say an example, you sent a contract and they accepted the contract. Now you got to get it to title. I would go ahead, if it was me, and attach the contract right here so you don't lose it. You can kind of play around with this. If you ever hired VAs, you can actually add VAs to this. And if they're cold calling, you can have them put all of your new leads right here. So you can go in and, call them back up and figure out what's going on with them. So Trello is definitely something you can do. I would go ahead and set it up kind of based off of how you would want to do it, organize it based off of you. But yeah, Trello is definitely a really cool software you can use. And we used it for several years. So once you have offers accepted, you're going to want to get contracts signed. It is very, very, very important that you ensure that you're using up-to-date agreements that protect you. This includes the purchase contract. This includes the assignment and the double close contract, which is going to be the same as the purchase contract. Now, Simply, what an assignment is a way for you to sell your contract to a buyer. The double close is a little more complicated, but it's really not complicated. It just seems like it is. If you want to learn exactly how to double close and how to do assignments the right way, definitely reach out to me. I also send something to my sellers called a seller benefit letter. It's all the benefits of doing business with us or you rather than other investors. We send these with every contract that we send to our sellers. After we started using this, we saw almost a 35% increase on our acceptance on our contracts. So if you want that seller benefit letter, it is provided in my one-on-one coaching. Again, if you want access to the one-on-one coaching, text me right here at the phone number on the screen. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. These were just a few really good tools that you can use in your own business. And again, if you need help, if you need somebody to walk you through wholesaling, feel free to reach out to me. We have helped over 200 people with wholesaling houses and land. I have a passion for helping, so definitely reach out to me if you need a mentor, need a coach, and if you're stuck. Most coaching companies are going to be charging you over $8,000 to teach you. Our program is very inexpensive. So if you go to my Facebook group, Land Ninja Academy, and also Virtual Wholesaling Ninjas,